Hey yo, what's good everyone? So if you've been looking for a new clamshell or mini laptop type of device, we now have the OneXPlayer G1. This device, let me tell you, I didn't hate. And yeah, that's not exactly how you'd expect a review to start, but let me share with you my experience over the past couple of weeks or so that I had the device. So this is the G1. No, not those G1s. Those are eGPUs. This thing is a full-fledged mini laptop, or clamshell device, if you will. This thing is able to do productivity, so work stuff, and of course, game stuff, because you can not only just type on this thing, but you can game with it when you do this fancy little thing, which is take out its keyboard. So then you have all of the controls under there, which you would expect. The 2 sticks and a bunch of keys, as well as, the analog triggers. Now, this thing is not the most accurate in terms of its stick travel, nor is it going to have you the best travel for your triggers, but I will say it is, for the most part, very functional. Not to mention, there's a trackpad on the bottom. The best thing about this device, though, has to be the display. I love the Legion Go's display, and as far as I can tell, this looks exactly like it. It's so bright, and the resolution is beautiful. And yeah, someone is going to say in the comments that this thing has a portrait display and it automatically disqualifies it, but I'll say personally, I don't really find that a problem. Maybe it's because I don't play certain types of games. And that's alright though, if it bothers you. One thing that also is really great about this device is it has not only USB 4, but also Oculink, which means you can connect to an eGPU for some serious gaming performance and basically an ultimate desktop replacement setup. And because this device has the newer HX370 APU, which is more performant than a Legion Go or ROG Ally, that means that you're not going to be disappointed with playing some more modern AAA games. But if you want even more performance, there's something that it also has. While I don't really care that much about Oculink because I love the plug and play functionality of USB 4, I think that somebody will really appreciate the added performance there, even though overall with an eGPU you are going to lose some performance compared to a desktop. So while I'm on the topic of desktops, that is kind of how I used this device for the week and a half or 2 weeks or so that I had this on loan. Basically, I used it as a replacement and I could do all of my work stuff that I needed to, whether that was spreadsheets or typing emails and stuff, and then I could also game on it when I removed the keyboard. I didn't say earlier that what you get inside the box is pretty simple. What you get is just the device itself and a charging block. I guess you don't really need that much more, although I suppose a mouse would have been nice to include. The other thing I have to say about this device while using it that pleasantly surprised me was actually the controls or the ergonomics. This thing is bigger than the GPD Win Mini, which is the clamshell device I usually use, and so being bigger, it just gave you a little bit more space between your hands, and so it was just more comfortable. It's not like super ergonomic like an actual dedicated controller with, sizable grips, but I'll say it works. On that topic of controls, I'll say I was pleasantly surprised also that the sides of the device don't dig into your palms like I thought it would when I first looked at this device. Here's the thing though, if you thought I'm just gushing over this device and I'm just a liar at this point, liar, especially because I said in the last video there were some serious problems with this, and that's where I'm going to talk about this. The one thing I didn't really like about this was that touchpad at the bottom of the keyboard that you remove. That thing only has 3 modes: off, touchpad mode, or keyboard mode. So that means that you can't actually use the keyboard and the touchpad at the same time, which I think is a pretty big miss. That and that removable keyboard function, which seems useful when you have a tabletop, it's not really that useful for me when I'm sitting there with the handheld in my lap or if I'm commuting or something, because at that point, then I have to find a place to put that removable keyboard. So I think it would have been nicer if they had some magnets or something that I could stick on the back of the display, so then I didn't have to find an extra place to put that keyboard. So while I'm on the topic of the keyboard, let me quickly tell you about the kind of software experience. Typically these things just give you this bare bones Windows experience, but the nice thing about the OneXPlayer devices now is that they have the One X console. This one has the One X console, and that lets you pull up this overlay to change the performance levels, change the fan levels, and even the RGB, even though the RGB on this wasn't working because it's a prototype. Despite that though, the custom buttons did work to disable and enable the trackpad, call up the One X console, and even reveal the desktop when you needed to. Those are the custom buttons that are beside the D-pad and as well as the ABXY buttons. So at this point, I've been lucky to review 3 HX370 devices, all thanks to OneXPlayer. Thank you to them for loaning this to me. I assure you though that they've had no say on this review and I've already returned these devices. Alright, so who should buy this thing? The OneXPlayer G1 has a lot to offer. It is a unique clamshell device in that there are no other clamshell or mini laptops, as it would be, in this 8.8-inch display form factor. So if the Win Mini is too small for you, the Neo Flip is too small for you, and the Win Max 2 is too big for you, this is kind of that happy medium. For me, because I like this kind of device, but it costs too much for me and I already have a Legion Go, I won't be picking one up. I am sad to have to part with it because it is a loaner, but there are other OneXPlayer devices that I do enjoy, namely the X1 Pro, which I will be reviewing in a future review, so if you found this useful, please do hit the like and subscribe buttons. Thanks for watching, and remember,
you are a beautiful person, so don't let anything hold you back.